Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So today we have a talk in the name of Functional Biodiversity Group. So we have here, well, it's not the first time that Dr. Enerit Saçdanaku, I hope that I'm pronouncing it well, is here. Is the third time he comes, but it's the first time he talks. Okay. Enerit works in a research center of Flora and Fauna of University of Tirana in Albania. So that means that it's a speaker coming from an unusual country from our center. So we can learn new things. We collaborate since long term, basically because we both were working in a framework, in a network regarding amphibians, reptiles, and pesticides. But today he's not talking about pesticides, but he's talking about the conflicts between biodiversity and disturbance factors. And if there is one group that is highly disturbed nowadays, is marine turtles, which is the focus of this talk. So I'd like to shut up and leave the stage to Enerit, who will speak about the problems of marine turtles in the Mediterranean.
Thank you, Miguel, for the introduction. I would also like to thank you for your invitation and making this talk possible, for our collaboration also. But also, I would like to thank you for being today here and hearing my talk. Okay, so I'm gonna speak today about, as Miguel said, marine turtles. As you may know, they are quite important in terms of conservation efforts that the scientists are doing all over the world, because they are endangered species, but they are also prehistoric, are considered like prehistoric species, dating millions of years ago, at the same time with the dinosaurs. While today that we are speaking, the dinosaurs are not existing anymore, but these prehistoric creatures are still living due to their morphological or physiology, especially the shell cover. Okay, the focus of the talk will be mostly in threat and factors to the population of marine turtles, and especially the climate change, the warming, global warming. Let's start with a very short introduction about the world sea turtle species. There are 7 sea turtle species living today, but only 3 of them exist in Mediterranean regions: loggerhead turtle, careta careta, green turtle, Chelonia midas, and leatherback turtle, Dermochelys coriacea. The most common one of Mediterranean regions is loggerhead turtle, then green turtle, and very rare is Dermochelys coriacea, which is mostly an oceanic species. Also in Albania, we have also these 3 species, loggerhead, green turtle, and Dermochelys coriacea. But the interesting fact is that the first record of sea turtle in Albania was of this, that is very rare actually, dating in 1960s. So the first time we have seen this sea turtle, very a big animal. My supervisor, my professor, who is now retired, he was going there and took all the measurements, and this specimen now is in our museum exhibitions, Museum of Natural Sciences, which is part of our university. So the most common one, as I said, is loggerhead turtle, careta careta, which we have identified a good population in Albania, foraging one, development, but very recent. And as I will speak later on, this species has started to nest, also reproduce in our beaches, in our coasts. Very shortly about the life cycle of sea turtles. Let's start from the baby ones. So after they come out of the eggs. The baby turtles go directly to the sea. The first year is considered like the lost year here because they are very preferred prey for many other animals, predators like sharks when they go into the water, or even seagulls in this stage passing from the beach to the sea, or jackals, dogs, or foxes. They can also eat them. From the studies conducted, it is considered that they want 25 to 30 years to reach their sexual maturation. And after they reach sexual maturation, they move to the foraging grounds, so to feed, to put some fat, and to be ready for reproduction season. In May, mating occurs then in April to May, and then there is a 1 month period for the eggs to be matured inside the female oviducts. And once they are ready, the female, only the female gets out of the water to lay the eggs in the beaches, when nearly the average timing is 2 months incubation, and the cycle starts over again. So why is so important to monitor, study, and work on conservation of these marine turtles? Because first of all, as I mentioned, they are considered endangered species according to the IUCN. Let's say for the loggerhead turtle, it's the global assessment is vulnerable, while green turtle is considered as endangered status. They're also, beside the fact they are considered endangered, they are part of many international level, like all these that are mentioned here, part of Annex of Specially Protected Areas Wildlife Protocol, part of CITES, International Convention on Endangered Species, part of Annex 2 and 4 of EU Habitat Directive, which is a very important to design the Natura 2000 network for us, Albania, that we are preparing this Natura 2000 network because we are not yet entering the EU's, but we intend to enter it. We have to have it ready, and this species will be considered very important. In Albania, the protection level of marine turtle is we don't have a specific law or regulation to protect this species, but we have approved, our Ministry of Environment have approved an action plan since 2012. The main aim of this plan was to conserve the species and their habitats in order to be fully protected under the Albanian national law. But now this action plan needs to be assessed because more than 10 years have passed. But the most important that we are working on, and scientists all over the world are working on this species, is because of many threats impacting the population of sea turtle, where this is a picture showing all the threats that they are facing. The fisheries, pollution, marine pollution, climate change also, but let's stop to every one of those threats and briefly see how they impact the population of these species. So as you may know, the sea turtles, marine turtle species are migratory, so they move and swim from one region to another region with miles on many kilometers doing, and through these migrate corridors, they sure will be caught unintentionally in any fishing gear, and this kind of capture unintentionally is known as a bycatch. It could be the type of bycatch could be long line fishing, troll net fishing, gill nets, like shown in this figure. But can sea turtle bycatch be reduced? Sure. If we change our fishing techniques, it may has a huge potential to reduce fishery bycatch. For instance, long lines, if we use circle hooks instead of the traditional one, it is estimated that it can be 65 to 90% improvement on this bycatch. And also another form of turtle-friendly selective gear is the turtle exclusion device, which is a hard or soft grid panel that installed in this troll fishing net. When small animals like fishes or shrimps or whatever, they are targeted to be captured, can go easily through this grid. But when it comes to heavy animals like sea turtle or sharks or dolphins, here is an escape opening that, because they are heavy, this panel can go down and the turtle can escape out. So this is very important to reduce the bycatch of these animals. Other threats may be vessel strikes. Recently, due to the highly tourism level is developing, especially in our country also, which is a coastal one, has a big coast. Vessel strikes, and from these, let's say, or called boat collision, these are the most common identifiable source of trauma of the turtles found stranded on the coast. So they can be injured from boat propellers, and here are included amputated flippers, fractured shells, brain injuries, or broken bones. Marine pollution also is another threat to the population of marine turtles, especially plastics. Each year, it is evaluated that more than 6 million tons of trash enters the ocean, with plastic comprising most of that, almost 90%. And marine trash poses an entanglement and ingestion hazard to turtles, threatening their ability to forage, grow, and ultimately survive. So a simple example is this one, where, as you may know, especially loggerhead, which are carnivores, their main diet is jellyfish. And you know that jellyfish are planktonic organisms fluctuating in the water surface. And if we have, together with jellyfish, also plastic bags, a sea turtle cannot see the difference. We can see the difference, but the sea turtle cannot see it. So they will ingest jellyfish together with plastic bags. And we have had cases of stranded animals, of dead specimens. We have opened, so done a dissection, and we have found small pieces of plastics inside the intestine, the stomach. And we thought that this was the cause of the death, because it preventing the animal to feed on. This is a picture from, unfortunately, from one of our river in Albania, a river mouth outlet. And this comes because we do not have a proper waste management treatment in Albania, and most of the villagers through the garbages into the streams, torrents, and they go to the sea. And then we have this scenario. To marine pollution, I would also highlight another source, which is oil spills. In case of accidents, these oil spills affect sea turtle and their habitats at all life stages, causing either direct mortality or increased embryo mortality, either stop the development of embryo. These are some pictures from these kind of threats. So to come to coastal development also is another threat posing to population of marine turtle, especially nesting habitat. This is a picture from one of our beaches in Albania, highly touristic one. When what happens here, the turtle does not have suboptimal, so the optimal nesting habitat where to lay the eggs. And then when the hatchling will come out, artificial lighting that comes from the street lamps, from the hotels, bars, will confuse them and will direct in the wrong direction, causing them to dehydrate, exhausting problems, predators, or even automobiles. There is a solution here if we do an agreements or with barn owners or manager of restaurants or hotels to having less frequency touristic activity during nesting period and keeping access to people to the beaches only during the day and not during the night, because during the night they are supposed to come out to lay the eggs, and also the hatchlings come out during the night. So avoid too much light on land when the juvenile will reach first the seawater. So to come to the climate change, which is considered recently another threat to marine turtle population, that again comes from human activities, or at least most of the people or scientists believe that global warming today is because of we are causing it. The direct, another one of a direct, let's say, impact to sea turtle population will be because of ice melting. The sea level will rise and eventually will destroy the nests because they lay the eggs on the beach. But what is the most important is the temperature. So it is estimated that over the past 100 years, a warming of 0.6 to 0.9 degrees Celsius has been experienced. And this, considering the marine turtles are cold-blooded animal, they are very extremely sensitive to the change of temperatures. And what causes a raising sun temperatures may lead to nest producing only females, or in other scenario, no hatchling at all. Why do I say this? Because as you may know, sex or gender to the marine turtles is determined by the nest temperature. So the temperature that the eggs are incubated in the sand, and if the temperature inside the nest is cooler than 28 degrees Celsius, so it is known a pivotal temperature, which is usually 29 degrees. Below this temperature, it will produce male individuals, and if the nest, the eggs are incubated in a warmer temperature, above 29 or 30 degrees Celsius, they will produce females. Considering this, the impact will be that we will have more and more skewist sexual toward the female populations. Or the worst scenario might be that if temperatures keep rising and in the incubation nest chamber, it exceeds 33 degrees Celsius, then the development of embryo will stop. So we will not have hatchling at all. So this is the worst scenario. That's why to make a connection with the title, How Hot is Too Hot for Marine Turtles, is that if this temperature exceeds 32 or 33 degrees Celsius, it will stop the development, and the scenario is very bad for the survival of population of this species. And the effect of this already is being experienced worldwide. For example, since 2007, more than 90% of loggerhead turtle in Florida and 70% in Zakynthos, Greece, have been females. Unfortunately, conditions are only expected to be worse. We are already observing higher percentages of female hatchlings with this temperature raised. But after 70 or 75 years, 2019, it has been predicted that the global temperatures will have increased by 1.8 to 4 degrees Celsius. And taking these figures into account, some areas may have 100% feminization of the population with the next 100 years, let's say. But this is only the black side of the medal, let's say. There is another bright side of the medal. For instance, in these recent papers, the effect of warming on loggerhead turtle nesting counts. This group of authors have found that feminized population around the world may contribute to increased nest counts in many regions, indicating that temperatures have not yet reached lethal levels or that not enough time has passed for population collapse. What did they do? They investigated potential role of past temperature fluctuations on these trends, particularly whether warmer beaches are linked to this increased nesting due to higher female proportion production. And the result was that, yes, the rising temperatures may be boosting nest numbers in some of the regions they included in the study. But again, furthermore, while some regions temporarily could benefit, the other can continually facing to higher temperatures, so warming could precipitate long-term population declines. And they also suggest that long-term studies are needed to assess global trends in this sex ratio of hatchlings and the extent to which feminization is driving nest numbers. Also, the good news is that as many other species, also marine turtles have their own adaptations to this climate change or rising temperature. That is called resilience to climate change. And we consider here shifting their nesting seasons to cooler months of the year. So if some years ago, the proper nesting seasons of the marine turtles have started at June or end of May, now they are shifting a little bit earlier, and the first nests are being reported since end of April or beginning of May. And this is happening in Turkey or in some islands of Greece. Also, selecting cooler beaches to nest, so selecting cooler beaches, a cooler site to lay the eggs. So they are able to move, in this case of Mediterranean populations, they will move in the Western Mediterranean, as I will show later on, in the north to the Adriatic. So they have this ability to move, but also we could also help them by artificial active management. What people are doing are they are shading the nest or either relocating to the cooler sites in order to for the eggs to be incubated in a cooler temperature and producing more males. But anyway, this kind of artificial active management are not well known, so the risk of active management techniques, so how successful they will be, it is not clearly known, because to relocate a nest is very, so once she laid the eggs, the embryo will immediately attach to the egg. So if you move that, you have to be very careful either to catch within 6 hours to 12 hours in order to relocate and to have a success, or after, if much time has passed, so after 24 hours, it will be quite risky, because if you move the eggs, the embryo will not be developed anymore. So that's why it's not so recommended. So here it is shown this is the nesting distribution of loggerhead in Mediterranean. So in the eastern part, and now due to the climate change and temperature rising, the nesting are also occurring in Western Mediterranean. These data are from 90s to 2020. The green one shows a few nests that has been recorded before 2010, but most of the nests are recorded after 2010. Okay, so now considering all of this, what have we done in Albania? Because here it is not shown, but Albania is somewhere here in the Adriatic coast, so they move also north to lay the eggs to the cooler beaches. Considering and knowing this, we, in the framework of a big project, conservation of marine turtles in the Mediterranean region, we conducted a study to explore potential nesting sites and design conservation measures for sporadic nesting in Albania. The main aim of this project was to collect data on the potential and conditions of Albanian beaches to support viable nests for sea turtle. And we started screening all the coast of Albania, 427 kilometers, and ended up at the first stage with, let's say, 160 beaches to be included in the study. Okay, for the first time, we used this drone to screen the beaches and to evaluate the elevation above the sea level. So we were using two main methodologies of food survey by doing some transect from the sea level to the vegetation line, and measuring first parameter was compaction through a compaction method, because the substrate is very important for the marine turtle to lay the eggs. They have to open, so you need to be soft. Also, the elevation of the beach above the sea level is very important. It is considered that a minimum of 0.5 meters should be above sea level, and we were using a theodolite also. But mostly to assess the set-on surface of the beach above 0.5 meter, we were using the drone. We were using the drone where we bought a software, drone deploy, and we were preparing pre-planned automatic flights. So before going to the field and to screen the beach, we were preparing the road that the drone will gonna do. And then the drone took only pictures, and then from the pictures in different heights, 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters, these were the distance we were applying. From the uploading the images, we were using a software to build a map, where the map shows the area, exactly the set-on surface of the beaches that were above 0.5 meter. And this is the general graph. So with the green are shown the beaches that had the minimum elevation above 0.5. 0.5 with a yellow to 1 meter, and the red one, the beaches that did not fulfill this parameter, so were lowest than 0.5. So not to speak more about this, we ended up combining these parameters with a list of beaches shown here in the map. With the green, there are beaches of high suitability, orange medium suitability, and with the red, the low suitability. So in total, we ranked 25 beaches to be as high suitability to support viable nesting, 20 beaches as medium, and 12 as low. Now the next, we also, during this project, for every beach, we taking the temperature data using a data logger, which was previously, before putting it in the beach, it was set to record the temperature every 30 minutes or every 1 hour or every 2 hours, but mostly every 1 hour, to record the minimum and maximum temperature. This is the list of beaches that we measure the temperature, and these are some results from 2 years, 2018, 2020. So in the graphs, it is shown the temperature measured, and as I said, this line shows the pivotal temperature, which is 29, and above this will be females produced, and lower than this will be males. If we see the beaches that we have collected this data, we will mostly, so our beaches shows that they will mostly produce males. And we are, together with a group of authors from Turkey, from 8 Mediterranean countries, we are now preparing a draft paper, hot and hotter, present and future nesting perspectives for loggerhead turtles in the Eastern Mediterranean, where from the preliminary results, it's shows that, so the aim of the paper was that through a combination of in situ data loggers that I showed, we were using to collect data, and physical modeling, the study quantifies hypothetical sex ratio of beaches across 24 beaches in 8 Mediterranean countries with a range of recorded nesting activity levels. And the data shows that highest male proportion to be found in some of the beaches in Greece, in Libya, Turkey, but here is also a beach in Albania which has the highest proportion rate of male production in the future. So our beaches are very important for keeping the sex ratio at a balance, let's say. About nest monitoring, so after this stage, so we have now the list of potential beaches. Now we have to monitor for the nest. And the first official nest we had in Albania was in 2018 in the mid-coast here. And after these years, from 2019 to 2024, we have had several cases, recorded few nests, attempts, but we had here also faced a problem with flooded nests. So we didn't succeed in a few cases because the nests were laid too close to the sea and where it was flooded, and the hatching success was 0, unfortunately. And some other were attacked by predators like golden jackal. Also, we have a good population of golden jackal in the coast. But in 2024, last season, we had a small project, and we did a proper monitoring, combining two methodology, food survey, where early in the morning, every beach was visited and checked for any signs of nesting, but also drone were used for for long distance beaches to cover. And mainly we were looking for these signs, so how to identify the nesting activity. But here we have to consider also the attempts, because here is the case when the turtle has come out of the water, do this turn, and went back again without laying the eggs. For many reasons, she can't find the proper place to lay the eggs. Or as I said, the beach does not have the minimum elevation. So when she comes out of the water, she can feel a little bit rising up. While a nest should not be confused, the track, so here are the track of a turtle, where here is a tire track, because in Albania, unfortunately, many cars go into the beaches, do drifting or whatever. So it can be confused because the turtle, when it comes out of the water, because of the plastron, the middle part is flat, while the tire track leaves a sand crest. So it exactly looks like that, turtle track, and comes out of the water. And to confirm the nest, you have to see the up track, down track, but also this kind of signs in the sand. You then have to dig, and as soon as you see the first eggs, you cover the nest, GPS it, and keep monitoring after, let's say, 40, 50, or 60 days. It depends on the temperature to be hatched. As I mentioned before, in the previous year, we had this case of predation attacked by golden jackal. So to protect these nests last season, we used these aluminum cages putting above the nests in order to prevent predators to attack and to eat the eggs. And as soon as the nest reaches the hatching, we evaluate more or less. We used to take off this grid in order to be easy for the hatchlings to come out. They can come out of these grids, but sometimes they may stuck. The results of last year monitoring was surprisingly, we had 5 nests confirmed with a total of 388 eggs laid, of which 257 eggs were successfully hatched, with an average of hatching success percentage of 66%. 0.3%, and average incubation timing of 52.8 days. These are the general data of the 5 nests we had. What I wanted to highlight here is that for the first time, we also relocated 2 nests because they were quite close to the sea line. And when we first see confirm the nest, we evaluated that 100% of these nests will be flooded based on the previous year experience. So we took the risk to relocate the nest, and one of these relocated nests did not hatch, so the hatching percentage success was 0. But the other one hatched, and surprisingly with a high level of hatching success, 86%. These are some pictures from the hatching process. So the hatchling, when they come out of the nest, leave these kind of small signs. These are some pictures from the excavation process. So when the hatchling come out, you have to go to the nest to excavate it and to evaluate the hatching success of the nest. So the emptied eggshell are hatchling that successfully had gone. Sometimes you may have dead embryo inside the egg, sometimes dead embryo in the nest, sometimes eggs without development and such. We also measured the temperature data from one of the nests, and the results showed a very high temperature these seasons. So the period we were measuring was from 15th of July to 2nd of September. With a minimum average temperatures 28.8 and maximum average 32 degrees Celsius. To conclude, so Albania, based on these results from the last season we had, is confirmed as a sporadic nesting site, which, as I mentioned, now the marine turtles are finding the Adriatic coast as better, cooler area to lay the eggs and reproduce. And for the first time, we successfully conducted the translocation process of eggs. But now the challenge are in front of us. We have to monitor every season for presence of nesting signs in order to identify all of them and take all the proper measures to conserve them. And also temperature study should also continue in order to give an overview of the sand temperature in the future for all the Albanian coast. Thank you for your attention and patience.